Hello, family. This is me coming with you with another video vlog. And this video is on what I do in my class. So for those of you who don't know, I've been a math teacher for over 10 years, and so I was hired to teach math, high school math here in Korea. So when I came over here, I was very big before I got here on the flipped classroom and standard space grading, and I'm very techie in that sense. So I wanted to definitely bring that over here, but I also understood it would be an adjustment for a lot of the kids, especially because I was coming in not at the beginning of the school year. Their school year doesn't start in August. I was coming in on the end of their school year, so I didn't want to make it to be so much of an adjustment. But then I figured out, they're kids, they'll adjust, and so and they have adjusted. Some it was a rough adjustment, but they I think are now really well adjusted to it. So I have actually two classes, pre-calculus and AP statistics. So I'm going to talk about calculus. I actually flipped my classes in calculus and not in AP stats. So I'll talk about that more so. So basically, I flipped my classes for calculus, and what they have to do is they have to watch a video before they get to class. And they know where to access the videos. And with the videos, I give them my own generated notes from the textbook. So I'm doing this as I go along because my previous pre-calculus videos, when I flipped my classes back in the States, were off a different book. And I want to basically make things as much like the textbook as possible because that's the resource they're going to use when they're not in class. So they come and watch the video, and then they come into class, and the first thing they have in class is they have to take a video assessment. And the video assessment is done without any notes. They can't use their textbook. They can't ask their neighbor. It is definitely for me to assess how much of the concept that was displayed in the video do you know and understand. And they get between 7 and 15 minutes. We only have 50-minute classes normally, so I don't want to spend the whole time doing that. And if you can use their calculators, it's only 7 minutes. If they can't use their calculators and it's a calculation intensive thing, then it'll be probably about 14, 15 minutes at the most. So then they turn into me their papers. And so I have to grade it right there in the spot. So while I am grading their video assessments, I give them what I call the notice and wonder. And so basically I'll put a problem up, a picture up, and I ask them to identify what do they notice and what do they wonder. And while they are writing down as much as what they can notice and as much as what they can wonder, and they're going up to the board and they're taking a look at and they're having these discussions, which I'm perfectly fine with, I'm grading their papers. Now, I know people are like, how can you grade all their papers that quickly? It's very easy. Initially, I'm grading to see what kind of group I'm going to put them in. So I put them in the green group, which is the, hey, I totally understand what's going on in the video. I'm ready to do the challenging stuff. Or do I put them in the yellow group, which is, I understand a little bit about what's going on in the video, but I still need some more practice and understanding. So I'm just quickly looking at their video assessments to assess which group they should be put into. And again, I'm not dealing with a lot of students here. My largest pre-calculus class is 12 students. I know, rough, huh? So I can, while they are writing down what they notice and what they wonder, I'm actually grading their video assessments. Then after I grade their video assessment, then I put them in, I tell them what group they're in, and then they have to work on the assignment based off their group. So, so this is their work for that. And I have two groups. Back in the States, I had four different groups, but because it's a small class and they pretty much all do their work, I only have two groups. And the yellow group is a group that needs a little bit more work, so they don't get as many problems. They get the same amount of problems, but not as challenging problems, and the green group gets the challenging problems. So the thing about this is that they have to complete their work at the end of class. So by then we only, after grading their papers and after they take the video assessment and I grade their papers and they're doing notice and wonder, they really only have about 25 minutes left in class to get started on these three problems. And I allow them to work together in their groups, but for the most part, they're really working independently until they get to a little niche, a problem, and then they ask their neighbors or they ask me, which is perfectly fine. I know people are like, well, that's not enough time for them to do the work, and they don't finish. Most of the times, they do not finish in time, which is perfectly fine. Because what happens is I collect the work, and then I grade it. So it's kind of like a feedback grade, but it's a grade that doesn't go in the grade book. And when they return to class the next day, I will give them back their papers with the feedback and allow them additional opportunity to finish the assignment. So they can either finish the assignment and correct the paper, or they can say, hey, I'm satisfied with the grade right now. I don't want to do anything else. Well, they don't do that. They want to get the highest grade possible. So by me giving them feedback on the work that they did the previous time in class, they now know what they need to correct, what they need to fix, and what they can improve on. So they could hypothetically get a perfect score if they complete all that they're supposed to complete in the time frame, as well as they completed a certain level. And I'm a very hard grader for that. So so the second class, there's no video. They're just working on finishing up their problem, and then after they finish up their in class, I call it class learning assignment. Then I give them, if you remember, they had a notice and wonder the previous day, and so now we continue the notice and wonder, but this time with the actual question that went along with it. So they do have to turn this in, and they work on it in class, and all this stuff is due at the end of class. And so that's how it goes. So basically every video is a 2-day cycle for them, where at the end of the 2-day cycle, they have a classwork grade for their learning assignment, and then they have of course, a video assessment grade, and then they have their notice and wonder grade. So it's all combined to one grade for the unit. I also have what's called skills tests, which instead of testing over a chapter, I test over each unit. I mean, not unit, each section of the chapter. And we have tests on Friday. As far as the rubrics and how I grade them, I don't grade necessarily on, you got this one right, you got something wrong here, so I'm -1. I grade off this rubric for the skills test as well, and I use a similar type rubric for their video assessment and learning assignments rubric. So they know what I'm looking for and what determines the difference between 100% and a 73 or whatever the deal may be. So they have that idea. So that's what I do for my pre-calculus. For statistics, it's a little bit different because in this class, the kids have mostly finished the statistics curriculum. So what I decided to do is some of them will be needing it statistics later on in life, and I wanted to show them the different type of technology tools that they could use. From my understanding, their previous teacher used statistics in such a way that they were able to do a lot of calculations either on their TI calculator or or in Excel. So what I want to do is for them to do something a little bit different. So we're using the R programming language. And so far, basically we go in, I already provide the notes, pre-provided for them, and they access it, and then we talk about how to use the same statistics they've learned the previous year, but how to use R, the programming language, to do some of these same calculations and things of that sort. So week 1 was about introducing R. Week 2 was about using some, data plots. Week 3 was a shortened week because it was a vacation, choose up. And week 4 we've been doing distribution. So basically they will come to class. I'll show them some things on R. I'll ask them to do some things in R. I'll check to see their work, and then sometimes I'll give them an assignment. And the assignment usually requires them to submit their work via Drop It To Me, which is like an add-on to Dropbox. So basically, what it does is it allows them to, here's the link. It allows them to submit their assignment directly to my Dropbox. And then I can see when they submitted it and what time as well. And then I can grade it and give them feedback on that as well. So that class, we won't be having tests. We will be having a midterm and a final, but we won't, it's basically daily assignments and homework assignments is their grade. So that's a little bit about what I do in my classes. Like I said, it's an adjustment. It's not exactly what I did before in the States. I made some modifications midway as well, but in the next school year that starts in January, I plan to incorporate interactive notebooks for my pre-calculus class, as well as any other class I'm teaching too. So I know this video is kind of long, and for those people who are not interested in what I do in math, sorry, but this is what this video is about. Oh, I also want to shout out to my sister Keisha, who said on my last video I was looking kind of rough. So I put on some lipstick and some earrings and everything else like that. So I hope I am more presentable today. Okay, bye-bye.